All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next one, which is again something that we've gone over, but I want to make sure we review back on this. The next thing that we're going to be working on, Jason, is the first thing we talked about was identifying the slope. Now what we're going to be working on is writing the equation of the line. And when writing the equation of the line, basically what we're going to be looking into is writing it in slope-intercept form. Because as you guys remember through our last test, when we were writing the equation of the line, it's very helpful when you have an equation that's in slope-intercept form, right? Because then you can simply identify the y-intercept and then use the slope to find the next point. So it's very beneficial to be able to have an equation that's in slope-intercept form. So if I'm given the slope and a point, how can I identify what the equation is going to be? Yes, Nick? You're going to substitute it. Well, it's very obvious. If they tell us what m is, we can easily substitute in m, right? Very good. So y equals 1/2 x plus b. Now, before we get into the slope or the y-intercept, I want you guys to understand something. When we had an equation, all right, because this is where a big mistake that a lot of students make. Let's say here's my equation. All right? Here's my y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is a coordinate point, right? Whatever this value is up here. The important thing for you guys to understand, the y-intercept has an x value of what? 0. So does this point have a x value of 0? No. So this is not the y-intercept. This is just a coordinate point on the graph. That's all that is. It's just a point on the graph. So to help us identify what the y-intercept is, this coordinate point is just an xy point on the graph. So however, if I need to solve for b, where does this graph cross the y-axis? Is b. I can take the xy coordinate and plug them in for x and y. So in this case, I have 6 equals 1/2 times 3 plus b. Now remember, when we're multiplying whole numbers times fractions, we rewrite our whole number as a fraction and multiply straight across. 6 equals 3 over 2 plus b. Now, to solve for b, we subtract 3/2. And then we have an issue. Now we have 6 minus 3/2 equals my answer. Well, how do we subtract a whole number from a fraction, or a fraction from a whole number? Well, again, we write our whole number as a fraction by putting over 1. And then we got to get common denominators. So I multiply by 2 over 2, and I get 12 over 2 minus 3 over 2, which equals 12 minus 3 is going to equal 9. And then remember, the denominators remain the same. So now I know what b is, and I know what my m is. So I can write my final equation as y equals 1/2 x plus 9/2.
You explained that so well that time.
Thank you, Jamie.